Okay, so now hopefully we've got those three chords, so just to quickly recap, so G, C and D. Just at this stage seems quite simple, but like I said, it's important I think to get a good sound out of all of that and make sure you can do that. It's not going to be easy for everyone. Some people are going to struggle to get their right hand in the right position all the time. Some people struggle a little bit with pulling those strings out the way and down at the same time. But it's definitely something to work at, spend a little bit of time with. Another thing you can do is the same fingering as before, but this time just play each note individually. Now this is more or less just to get used to movement between your thumb and especially at the moment, your first three fingers. So if I played the G chord together, like that, and then I played it separately, I played the notes separately, I'd play... And again, you want to make sure you can hear all those notes ringing out. You'll also notice that they ring into each other, so they don't stop, like that, they're muted, they ring into each other, which is really quite important. And it'll ring out for quite a while. Again, it's something you realise as you play a little bit longer, that certain things can ring through other parts of chords and make a really interesting sound. But it doesn't really work unless you've got that sorted in the first place and it sounds pretty good. Again, the C chord, we do exactly the same thing. We've moved down, remember, with our thumb from the 6th string to the 5th string. And then down a little bit further to the D. And back to G. Now if you feel as if you can do that and you're confident the sound is okay, then maybe try a little pattern with it. So that pattern would be like 1 and 2 and 3 and 1 and 2 and 3 and... Now that's quite important because when you're playing a fingerstyle pattern like that, it's probably going to be in something like that, so that'd be 3/4 or 6/8 time, or something that's 4/4 time. So when I'm going 1 and 2 and 3 and 1 and 2, if I want to do that in 4/4 time, I'm going to have to think slightly differently. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1. So you'd have to work out a pattern first and then play it. So if we just think of a simple pattern, you could do 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, which is really maybe a little bit too simple. So just to go between the two, 1 and 2 and 3 and 1. So we want to really be getting the 1 on that bass note. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. Now you can do any pattern here, it doesn't need to be what I'm doing, I'm just making something up there. But I think it is quite important to realise that normally you're playing in a kind of a group of 3s or a group of 4s. And obviously if you think of different songs that you like, some are going to have a really strong 3 pattern, some are going to have a really strong 4 pattern. You can just work out any pattern that works with the song you're trying to play. It doesn't really matter if it's the same as the person that's playing it on the original recording or whatever, that doesn't matter. So, and then when you go to C, and then the D, so I would say that's a good one to start with, because it falls quite easily under the fingers, and obviously you want to start off pretty slowly with it, make sure you can hear every note pretty clearly. Eventually build up a little bit of speed with that. And what you'll probably find when you do that and you build up a little bit of speed, when you change between chords, that's when it can be quite difficult sometimes, because rather than strumming, when you've got a pattern, that pattern is running, continuing, to me is one of those things that when I saw people playing that when I was learning the guitar, I thought that looks really simple. I always thought that looks very, very simple, but of course when you try and do it, and if you're, you know, in a studio or something, you're under a little bit of pressure and you're trying to play stuff like this, it makes it a lot more difficult. And if you're learning it, it's the same sort of thing, you're under a bit of pressure. So again, with everything, I would slow it right down. And I'd also emphasise that first note, the bass note that you play. You can count along with it if you like, or you could use a metronome like we did before. Metronome, again, is once you've got it together with that, the metronome is great because the metronome will just help build up, develop your instinct with timing in it. And because, you know, there isn't really any rhyme or reason why that should be absolutely perfect when you play it in time, because you're using, you know, your thumb and three fingers, they're all slightly different strengths, they're all slightly different abilities, I suppose, if you want to look at it that way. So when you're actually just playing a pattern, it's not quite as simple as just going, yeah, it's just that, and it's easy. It's not, it's quite difficult to get the thing with a nice flow to it, sounding really good. It's got a nice rhythmic flow, and also it sounds good, all the notes sound really good. So I would say that's quite a big challenge to get to that point. Obviously if you've done this stuff before, then, you know, that's great. But for most people, I think when they start out doing fingerstyle, I think this is a pretty good sort of starting point.